ne te t'étonne pas, paraît que les ciels sont plus beaux. Un vol direct ou avec escale, pour passer des nuits à Oslo. On enverrait des cartes postales, je laisserai un mot sur le frigo.
So I'm reviewing another camera today. This is the Konica Z-UP 150 VP. It's a mouthful. This is a 35mm compact camera. I thought I would review it because most of the film photography work featured on this channel is shot with this camera, but I don't ever talk about it. So I thought you guys might be interested. I would say that the Konica, I don't know the pronunciation. I would say that it is ideal for beginners, fun for enthusiasts, but professionals, you know, they might feel a little bit lacking in control over the image and features. I don't know if this is a camera that a professional would choose to shoot with, but anyone who wants a straightforward 35mm point and shoot compact camera experience like this, they're gonna love it. They're gonna have fun with it. So we can quickly get into the ease of use. What I love about this camera is that it is so straightforward. You know that when I travel, I'm an auto girl. I love auto and I trust this camera a lot. I already have like a fully manual SLR camera that it makes my palms sweaty. It makes me want to cry sometimes. I already have a camera to struggle with. When I shoot film on this camera, I want, something fun, something easy. I don't want to think about it too much. I feel like I say that in every video. I'm like, I don't want to think about anything. That's like the least, I don't know, it doesn't sound great. I like this camera because it makes a pretty picture without having to do much work on my end. Like most 35mm compact cameras, it does roll the film back for you, which is really nice. It's super easy to load too. It's really hard to mess up with this camera, and that's why I think this is a great camera for beginners. So one of the main things that I don't like about this camera is the build itself. I find it to be an awkward and bulky shape. It doesn't fit into my pockets. It's comfortable to hold in your hand while shooting, but not necessarily while walking about. And if I could change anything about this camera, it would be to make it smaller, more compact. Like, this is not as compact as it gets for sure. Especially for travel, like you want something that just kind of sits just a little easier in your hands, in my opinion. I also have small hands. Maybe if you have bigger hands, you wouldn't mind as much, but it's a little too big for me. That being said, I do like the build of it. I like the way that it feels. I like that it feels kind of like heavy, sturdy. I've had other compact cameras that are more compact, but they kind of feel a little bit toyish. At least like within this price point, they feel a little bit toyish. The plastic feels cheap, they feel light, and they don't hold up for very long because they're just not built. They're not built very tough. And not that this is built tough by any means, but it doesn't feel like a toy. It feels like a camera. And that's why I feel like the camera enthusiast would be able to appreciate this camera because it feels like a good piece of technology. So I really enjoy the image quality that I get from this camera. Usually when it comes to image quality, I let images speak for themselves because when it comes to talking about image quality, I don't like to get too technical in my reviews, but I will say that this camera produces very nice contrasty images. Most of these photos were either taken on Portrait 160, 400, Portrait 800, and maybe, but I highly doubt it, Ultramax. I don't know. I don't feel like the camera performs great in low light, but of course that would depend on what film speed you have in it. Obviously 800 in a dark room is going to be a lot better than 160 in a dark room. So there can be a lot of grain with this camera, but that's to be expected with a camera, an inexpensive film camera. Like you gotta make your expectations realistic with them. And guys, from now on, I'm going to label the images, like the rolls that I put in to get developed. I'm gonna start keeping track of what film I use because that's something I don't do. I don't keep track of the film stock. And so when I see pictures, I really can only guess which film stock I used, and I have no way of really knowing. And that information will be kind of helpful. So it won't happen again, but I apologize. If we take a look at the features, we can see that we have a Konica zoom lens with a range of 38 millimeters to 150 millimeters. I really do like the zoom on this camera. I find it to be most useful when I'm traveling, especially hiking, because, you know, when you're hiking, you're far away from some of the shots. And so I love a camera that has a good decent zoom. But obviously once you start the longer the focal length, the more shaky, the more still you have to be, or else the images come out a little bit shaky. You know what I'm talking about? Unless you're shooting on a tripod, but I'm not shooting on a tripod when I'm traveling or hiking, definitely. So you have a few different modes. You have auto, you have flash, timer, night mode, no flash, and a 1.5 plus exposure. I don't know. That setting I'm a little bit confused about, but you know, maybe that's what's missing with my night pictures, my low light pictures. I don't know the correct wording of plus 1.5 exposure setting, but it would add more light to your, or it would, you know, I can't say what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say. Brighter image. And it also has landscape mode, which again, I don't use landscape mode because I don't understand what could be the difference between landscape mode and auto mode. Hopefully auto mode goes into landscape mode when I have a landscape in front of it. Who knows? My favorite feature is definitely the panorama. This is my only camera that has a built-in panorama feature, and I love it. Like, I love it. When I was in Colorado, the skyline, like not the skyline, but like the landscape in front of me was, I took a panorama of every location. Like, panorama just spoke so much to me when you're in college, because you just want to get everything. You want to get the whole thing because it's so vast. And so if you like to take pictures while you hike, nature, travel, whatever, I highly recommend finding a camera, if not this one, like finding a camera that has a panorama feature, because I have a lot of fun with that. And it's something different. You can crop images to make them more panoramic, but this does it for you, so why wouldn't you use it?
Something that I really don't like about this camera is how on the back you have the mode, select, and the set button. The mode button controls the date on the back, and if it's not in the dashed line position, it will imprint, the date onto the photo, like a lot of film cameras do. And this might be something that many point and shoot film cameras do, where it just like automatically resets at a certain point, and it doesn't reset to like not include the date, it resets to include the date. I don't like that. I don't like how sometimes if I'm not paying attention, I'll just get the date in there, and I never, there's no circumstance in which I want that in my photo. And if I don't check it sometimes, it will, I guess, reset itself. I know I don't push the button, but it'll reset itself to it's not even the correct date. And yeah, I kind of wish that when you set it off, it stayed off until you hit the button again if you want to change it. I don't like how it controls itself in that way. I'm like, I don't need you to make that decision for me. But
one of the best aspects of owning this camera, I can get another one whenever I want. As fun as it is to shoot with the ultra popular cameras, the one that all the YouTubers talk about, the one that everyone uses on Instagram, the one that celebrities shoot with, you can't get them. Like, you can't get them for a good price and good shape. And that is the problem with a lot of cameras these days, especially with social media being such a driving force behind buying camera gear. It's very, very difficult. If you have like one of those highly sought after cameras, if they break, good luck getting another one. Unless you have some sort of connection, some sort of camera plug, good luck getting a good one, like a good quality one at a good price. It's hard. And I don't think that I'd buy this camera again because of the things that I mentioned. I don't love the size of it. Really, the size gets me. But I know that like if I wanted to get another one, I could. And that gives me peace of mind when I'm shooting. And I could get another one at a decent price, which is the other thing. I think I got this for like $53 on eBay. Like, they don't cost a lot to replace. Is this the best point and shoot out there? No, obviously it's not. But this camera has given me a lot of happy days outside. It's taken some of my greatest memories on it. I need to end this fast because the trash truck is coming. My favorite memories were captured using this camera, and I don't see a lot of people shooting with it. So if you ever are lucky enough to get your hands on a camera like this, I think that you should. I think you should get it, try it out. Unless you don't want something too big, then I wouldn't get it. But the trash truck is just doing circles around. I live on the noisiest street possible. I swear, I live on the noisiest street. It's so frustrating. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.